Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all those who are watching this class live. My name is Alex, and today I'll be doing the IELTS speaking class, where candidates will get the opportunity to practice their speaking skills, and I'll be giving feedback on different elements of those skills. So this is a great opportunity for those who are planning on doing the IELTS test to get feedback on their speaking, just so they can see how they're doing, and also so we can see what they should be focusing on to go forwards in terms of getting in the best shape possible for the IELTS exam. So welcome to all of those who are in the class today. Let me know in the chat box if you're watching live on YouTube or on Facebook, and let me know your name and also where you're from, where you're currently watching at the moment. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at part 3 of the IELTS exam. That will be what we're focusing on to begin with. So for those of you who struggle with part 3, this is a great opportunity to get some tips and make some improvements. Okay, so let's have a look then at the materials that we'll be going through today. I should say we are on at a slightly different time today, just because of the change in the clocks in the UK. But this will be our regular time going forward, 4 p.m. UK time. So yeah, keep it in your diaries. Okay, so I can see that Jesnine Lee has joined. Hello to you, Jesnine. Jesnine is watching today from the Philippines. I hope you find the class useful today, Jesnine. Okay, anyone else who is watching live, as I say, just let me know. Just send me a message in the chat. Okay then. Just before we look at today's materials and do the practice with today's candidates, I do want to make you aware of the IELTS scholarship program, which we have available. If you want to get involved in live practice and you want to get more feedback and support in terms of preparing on your IELTS journey, then this is the place to come. If you would like to work as a nurse in the USA, then you should check out the Swoosh English Connetics USA IELTS Scholarship, in which you could do all of this for free. So click on the link, which I'll be sharing in the Facebook and YouTube chat box, and just click on Staff Nurse. That's the option you need in order to take advantage of this opportunity. So I can see that Anna has joined us in the class. Hello to you. Hazel as well has joined from Bedfordshire Hospital, Luton. Wonderful. Dorina is here as well from London. So hello to all of you. And also hello to Alice and Lauren, who have joined live in the class as well. So as I said previously then, we are going to be looking at IELTS Part 3 today. That's going to be the focus. And just to begin with, a quick description. So for this part of the test, it lasts for 4 to 5 minutes. The topic is linked to Part 2. The questions will be in a question and answer format, which is the same as Part 1, but the questions will be more abstract. When you are answering the questions for Part 3, you should ensure that your answers are clear and structured. So this involves using linkers. You should also make sure that you give a clear opinion, and you should explain and justify your opinion where appropriate. So what I want to focus on in today's class is the linkers. So we should be using linkers in order to provide cohesion to our responses, so our responses are clear to the examiner. But the question is, which sort of linkers? So on the screen at the moment, I've shared 6 linkers. 3 of them are more commonly used in speaking, and 3 of them are more commonly used in writing. So which ones do you think are the most common in speaking? Let's have a look at the linkers that I've got on the screen here. Which ones do you think most naturally should be used in spoken language as opposed to written language? So just let me know in the chat if you feel like you have the answer to this. What do we reckon? So we've got furthermore, in addition, yet, also, consequently, so. Which of these, if you were to choose 3 of them, would you use most commonly in speaking? And which would you more often use in writing? Okay, so Jesnine suggests also, yet, and so for speaking, as does Anna Karenina. Summer, yet, also, consequently, and so. We go for 4 of them. So, also, yet, used for speaking. Okay, yeah, so most people are agreeing, and absolutely, I would agree as well. We would use yet, also, and so most commonly in speaking. So the thing to bear in mind here, of course, is that these words tend to be shorter, snappier, easier to say. And when we are providing organization to spoken language, usually we don't need words that are so long and cumbersome, to use that word, or complicated. So in addition, it's quite a long expression to use for spoken language. It's something which might be used for a formal presentation, maybe, but it's not something that we would use spontaneously in conversation. It wouldn't sound quite natural. The same with furthermore and consequently. However, in written language, absolutely these would be appropriate, particularly in a formal letter or, of course, in an essay. So, yet, also, and so. We need to think about the function as well. So these are quite common words. We'd use yet to provide a contrast to something. So I might say, for example, that I enjoy modern music, yet I often find myself listening to older classical music. Also, of course, we use to add ideas, and so we would use to explain an idea. But these aren't the only linkers we can use for these functions. There are other connectors we can use as well. So here are some other connectors which are very common in spoken language. Okay, not very common in written language, certainly not in formal written language. I wouldn't advise that you use any of these in your IELTS essays, but for speaking part 3, these are some very appropriate and useful phrases. So just have a look at these phrases that you can see on the screen now, and I want you to tell me, what is the function of these different phrases? Do we use these to add information, to contrast information, or to explain something? So what do you think? 3 different functions. Which of these expressions would you use for each function? Just let me know in the chat box how you would use these different expressions. Okay, so let's see. Hello to some other students who are just joining us, by the way. So we've got here Gabriel, Hadoud, Herrera, and Dorina as well. So welcome to all of you. Dorina saying from before that she often uses in addition, consequently, and furthermore in writing, which is good. These are definitely very useful expressions to use in writing. But what about speaking? Hello to Jamie as well. Great to see you joining in the class today. Any comments on this? How would we use these different expressions in speaking? What would be the function of them? So Jesnine is saying to explain something. Which ones, Jesnine? Which ones explain? So there are 8 different expressions here. They don't all have the same function. So which one do you think would you use to explain? Okay, that's why, and for that reason, for explanation, says Hadoud. Yep, absolutely, I agree with that. Any other suggestions? Okay. So 1 and 3 to add information. So on top of that, besides that, add information. Okay, good. That sounds right to me. 4, 5, and 6 to explain, says Anna Karenina. Okay, good. Yeah, absolutely. So let's just confirm this then. Here we go. So the 8 different expressions, this is how we would use them. So we can see adding information, we've got those 3 expressions there. On top of that, aside from that, besides that. So these are the expressions that we would use. So obviously we can use and, we can use also, but if we want to use some different expressions, then it is a good job or it's a good idea to do that because we don't want to keep repeating the same words. These are the alternatives that are more naturally used in speaking as opposed to in addition or furthermore, which sound a bit unnatural. Contrasting information, yeah, despite that, while are quite commonly used in speaking, more so than, for example, however, which can be used in speaking, but it's less common, or in contrast, which again is something we use much more commonly in writing than we would in speaking. And to explain something, that's why, for that reason, which means. Yeah, again, which is much more common than using consequently or as a result, which are much more common in written language as opposed to spoken language. So let's have a quick look then at some examples to show how we could use these expressions. So here's a speaking part 3 question. Why is traveling abroad important for young people? So here's a response. So we could respond, well, it provides an opportunity for adventure and a new experience. Aside from that, it also allows young people to discover new cultures and ways of life. That's why they often regard traveling as so impactful and memorable. Okay, so you can see the expressions we've used there. Aside from that, to add information, that's why in the end to explain and to provide an answer to the original question. Let's have a look at another example. So here's the question. Which is the better way of knowing more about a country? Traveling or reading books about it? Here's the answer. While reading books can give you a good flavor of a country, you can't truly know it unless you visit, because every writer will have their own perspective, which will shape their reality. For that reason, I think it's important to travel yourself to develop your own ideas. Okay, so you can see again, we've used while to provide a contrast at the beginning in the first sentence, and we've used for that reason to provide an explanation as to our opinion. So this is how we can use these expressions, and they are, as I say, more appropriate for spoken language than for written language, and they provide some variety rather than the most common expressions being obviously and, also, but. We can mix this up a little bit by using some of these expressions in our spoken language. So we're going to move on to do some practice now. I can just see that Marcus has joined us. Hello, Marcus. And Gurpreet, hello to you as well. So let's see who we've got in the class today and who we can bring in to do some practice. Okay, so Rona, I'm going to bring you in. Are you there, Rona? Hello.
Hi, Alex.
Hi. That's fine.
Yeah,
How are you today, Rona?
I'm good. I'm good. We're just
Good.
we're just arrived home, and I'm going to the elevator, so probably
Ah.
next time. But I'm just listening all the way to the house.
Oh, okay. Are
Yeah,
you not
sorry.
able? Are you not able to
I'm here in
contribute
the
then?
parking.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Let me.
Probably next time, Alex. But I'm listening.
Okay, no worries. No worries.
Okay, sorry.
Take care. It's okay. Okay. So let me bring in another student then to do some practice. I'm just going to bring in Jesse. Hi there, Jesse.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, thanks. Pretty good myself. Where are you at the moment?
I'm in India, Alex.
In India.
Yes, Alex.
Okay. Okay, great. And Have you been studying English for a long time? Hello, Jesse.
I am trying my best to communicate with others.
Okay, good, good. So I think your volume just went a moment there, but I can hear you again now. So you said that you're trying your best to communicate in English. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Great, great, great. Okay, Jesse. So are you familiar with part 3 of the IELTS exam?
Uh, I've attended some of your Facebook online, I haven't participated.
Okay, okay then. So you've had a passive introduction in that sense.
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. Well, as I was saying, for speaking part 3, it's based on a question and answer setup. So I'll be asking you some questions. They tend to be more abstract. So the responses you give will involve some thought and some explanation. Are you? It seems like we've lost Jesse. We're not doing too well today, unfortunately. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, I think Jesse has. Oh no, is she back? We'll have one more try with Jesse.
Yes, sir. There was some.
It looks like. Yeah, okay. Looks like Jesse's having problems with connectivity. Let me bring Peter in. Hi there, Peter.
Hi, Alex.
How are you doing?
Just finished a snack. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Bon appetit.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Peter, as I was just saying before, we're doing some part 3 practice today. Um, I know you're familiar with the exam. Obviously, we've done practice together. Are you ready to get started with some part 3 questions?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, you finished your snack?
Yeah. I just had a cupcake. Small one.
Okay, very nice,
Yeah.
very nice. Okay then, so Peter, here are some questions that I would like to ask you. I'd like to focus actually, very coincidentally, on food. So, first question, what are, in your experience, young people's opinions on new food?
Well, I do believe that young people or the younger generation are thrill seekers. So they usually find food that are very appealing to their taste and also very colorful so that it would suit their thrill seeking behavior. And at the same time, it would also stimulate their brain as to be more into exploring that particular food. So that's why I do believe that the youngsters nowadays uh, are applying their thrill-seeking behavior in terms of their choices in food.
Okay. Why do you think young people generally prefer eating unhealthy food?
Well, I do believe that the advertisements that we usually see on TVs, which are very popular nowadays, had done a great job in instilling in this younger generation's minds that this food, I would say the fast foods are a healthy option in terms of food choices. That's why, with that being said, the younger generation now thinks that eating those kinds of food are also acceptable, as well as those food that are being served in their homes, which are for me is more healthier. So I do believe that with the advertisements, these kinds of food are considered acceptable to them.
Do you think teachers or parents are responsible for teaching kids about food?
Well, yes. In my opinion, parents are the uh, parents are the ones who should teach their young about the correct food that they should choose whenever they go out from home. Like parents are the first teachers. That's why the children would always rely to whatever they are going to say or teach to them. That is why if the parents would encourage or would always opt to eat outside. I mean, in some of the fast food chains, the children would think that that kind of that situation is very acceptable. That's why whenever they go outside without their parents, they would also tend to eat in this very unhealthy food choices. So I think parents are like the major contributors to the children's option in terms of the correct food they would choose.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much there, Peter. So yeah, so good responses to the questions. You came out with appropriate vocabulary. You spoke at a good pace as well. There was sometimes a little bit of hesitation, but generally you managed to maintain a good pace. And yeah, you're coming out with obviously relevant stuff like, you know, the healthy option. You're talking about the fact that you said the parents were major contributors. You were coming out with some good language, opinion language as well. You used, in my opinion. You also used "I do believe" as well, quite a lot. So it's good that you're showing, obviously, using that opinion language, but maybe just a slight bit of variety there. So, because I think you used that 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
So it's always good to mix it up a bit. So, yeah. So obviously you had "in my opinion," or, you know, "it seems to me," or "I think."
I
Yeah, these are some other expressions you could use as well.
okay.
Good, yeah. Just a point on food. So food is uncountable. So you were using
Okay.
expressions, yeah, because it was coming, wasn't it? Like you said, fast food are a healthy option, but yeah, it should be
Is
is. Yeah,
a okay.
um, exactly. You also talked about those food as well, but yeah, so it should be that food, or this food. Yeah. Um, and just an expression as well. You used, you said to eat outside, but I think in the context you were using it, you meant just to eat out, like to get takeaway food, to eat out.
Oh yeah, yeah,
'Cause, yeah, if you say eat outside, it means literally like in a garden,
yeah.
or
Okay, okay,
so
okay.
yeah. So just the context, I thought you meant eat out in that case.
Eat
You
out.
know,
Okay.
yeah, that's if you like go
Mhm.
to McDonald's or something, and yeah, then you'd be eating out. Um, and just a final point as well. You said with preposition, you said to rely to, but it's always rely on. You rely on
Rely
something.
on. Okay.
Yeah, so just with that preposition. Aside from that, yeah, it was a good use of vocabulary, and accurate in terms of grammar. I thought the pronunciation as well was accurate and was easy to follow throughout. So yeah, just a few of those things. I think food was the most common one because you used it a lot. Obviously, that was the main thing. So it did lead to
Okay.
quite a few grammar errors just because of that. So yeah, just taking that on board would improve the accuracy.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much
Thank you,
there,
Alex.
Peter.
Yeah.
Take
Thank
care as
you. Thank
well.
you.
Cheers. Okay, so let's continue then. Let's see who else we can do some practice with today. So let me bring Eagle in. If Eagle is there, are you there, Eagle?
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Hi, Eagle. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. Yeah, I'm okay. Thanks. Okay. Are you eating a snack at the moment?
No, not actually.
You don't have a tasty snack going on at the moment. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess no matter. So just remind us, Eagle, where are you at the moment?
I'm at home right now.
Which country are you in?
Philippines.
The Philippines, that's right, of
Yeah.
course. Okay then, Eagle. So we're going to continue doing some part 3 practice. Let's have a look at a different topic though. Let's have a look now at the topic of energy. So yeah, here are some questions I'd like to ask you on this topic, Eagle. First of all, do you think we need more energy nowadays compared to the past?
Yes, of course. Especially in our situation right now. And in my case, as a nurse, so I need more energy for my everyday living, especially working in the hospital. For me to be able to cater more patient, especially I'm dealing with a life and death situation in the emergency department. Well, it's very significant for every nurses to have the great energy, uh, for them to be more relaxed in dealing with the situation or the case of the patient.
And you talk about being a nurse. What other kinds of job do you think require more physical energy?
Well, besides of being a nurse, most of the other job like construction workers really require a lot of physical energy. So they are really working so hard in the middle of the sun. Well, they are building the high-rise buildings or even the house. So that's why they require more energy, the physical energy, for them able to do their job.
Okay. Do you think that if your job requires more energy, that you should be paid more?
What? Sorry.
Do you think that jobs that require more physical energy should be paid a higher salary?
Well, based on my opinion, that's not really necessary. That you need to pay higher salary if requiring to have more lots of your physical energy. Well, it is not actually about the money, but then again, if you're really dedicated in what the thing that you are doing, so it's not really important to get the high salary and that's a specific job or uh, thing that you are doing.
Which jobs do you think are most likely to be replaced by machines in the future?
Well, I think the other industries like the uh, factory or that kind of industry that we all know the fact that factories need a lot of manpowers for them to be able to to circulate and to work. Well, I think in the near future, if we need to use the robots in the that particular era, well, I think that the manpower not necessary to use that and that's a specific case, or I think that, well, there are really advantages of having that kind of situation. Maybe it will cause the more unemployment in that case if they will use that modern type of robots in dealing with the uh, that kind of industry.
Okay, thank you very much there, Eagle. Great. So yeah, you gave extended responses to the questions, which was good. Your responses were logical. Um, Generally speaking, as well, it was easy to follow your ideas. Just maybe the last one you went a little bit off topic, which is not necessarily something that you will be punished for in the IELTS. But yeah, if it does get to a stage where it seems harder to follow what you're saying, then it can be something which is looked at negatively. So yeah, just be careful not to go too far off topic when answering the question. But yeah, but it was good. You showed good fluency. And there were some nice expressions that you were using as well. So you were talking about manpower that was required for certain physical jobs. You were talking about in the construction industry, building high-rise buildings. So you were using some less common vocabulary, which was good to hear. Just an expression that you use. So you talked about people working in the middle of the sun. It's not quite a natural expression that would be used. We might say like working hard under the sun. That might be that would be a more natural expression to use, or sort of in the midday heat. That would be another expression that we might use as well. So it's good that you're trying to use these expressions, but just be careful about the ones which aren't as natural. Also, at one point you said, based on my opinion. So you can say, in my opinion. Based on my opinion just sounds a little bit unnatural. So you might say, yeah, sort of in my opinion, or in my view, would be two more natural expressions that you could use instead. But yeah, aside from that, Eagle, as I said, you showed a good level of fluency, and you're able to use a variety of relevant vocabulary as well. So thank you very much. Okay, so we are going to bring another student into the class in just a moment. Just before we do, I do want to make you aware of, again, the opportunity which is there for all of those who are watching on Facebook or YouTube. There are always opportunities to get involved more directly in what we are doing, and you can do that by signing up for the scholarship program. Just bring up the details for that again, just so we can see that there. And this is an opportunity for all of you who would love to work in the US as a nurse. You can check out the free Swoosh English Connetics USA IELTS scholarship, and you could do all of this for free. So again, just click on the link which will be shared just now on Facebook and YouTube, and click on Staff Nurse in order to find out more about this opportunity. Okay, so let's see. So Jesse is back. I would like to give you an opportunity, Jesse, because we've not spoken before. We do try and get as many new contributors as possible, so it's as fair as possible when we do this. So we'll try one more time, Jesse, and hopefully we won't have any technical barriers this time. So let me just bring you in.
I'm back here.
You're back.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good, no problem. So how are we doing in terms of the technology? Are we looking good?
Yeah, hope so. It won't get disconnected again. Yeah, right now it's okay.
Good, good. Okay, let's have a look then at another part 3 topic. So this time we're looking at the topic of poetry and music. So Jesse, tell me, are you good at memorizing things?
Not really. When I was young, yes, I used to memorize a lot of things, and I used to retain everything in my brain, and very easily I used to, you know, I could tell many things like without even seeing. But right now, because of my age, yes, there is a lag. Yeah.
What do you think about learning poems? Is this a waste of time?
No, definitely no. You should learn poem. It has been taught in the school age, that is in the primary level. Teachers teach poem, and I think so. This should continue at any age. So poem is one thing that you learn and you memorize things, and then it is It is one way that you are trying to express yourself.
Why do you think that poetry is less popular now than in the past?
Yes, poetry now it is less popular because traditionally they used to teach, nursery rhymes, which was, rattled by all the children. But then I think so. Nowadays, something like new technology has started new poetries and new poems. So I think so now presently children they don't practice as they used to practice before.
Do you think it's easier for children to learn a song or poem than adults?
Yes, definitely, because children they are a quick learner, and especially at the age of toddler age, between 2.5 when 2.5, yeah, 2.5, 3 years, when they start going to school, that is the time the grasping power of the children is uh, very good. So children tend to learn much better than the elderly. Yes.
And what do you think people can learn from songs or poems?
Yeah, it is one way that you are trying to express yourself. You're trying to think that you're in a fairyland. Like, for example, if you're saying a song about Baba Black Sheep, like when I was young, I was taught Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? So I was thinking, like, I have a sheep around me and I have got so many wools. And they are saying that, do you want wool? I mean, say, that way you are trying to interact with the teacher and you're trying to learn new things.
Good, good. Okay, thank you very much there, Jesse. Some really good responses to the questions there. You show a high level of fluency, a really good level of pronunciation as well. So it's easy to follow what you're expressing. Some good use of vocabulary, so referring to the children, obviously you're talking about toddlers. And also, I like the use of retain as well. You're talking about retaining information in your brain. So that was good as well. You were using language to express opinions, which is really good. But just a few points there. So you said, I think, well, you said, I think so now, and then went on to provide more information. So generally, when we say, I think so, that's kind of like the answer to the question, and then you would start a new sentence. But yeah, if you're going to continue the idea, then you wouldn't use so. So, yeah,
Okay.
I just noticed a slight one on that. Yeah. So if I said, for example, do you think that it's important to learn poems? You said, I think so. You could start a new clause. You could say, I think so because, but you can't say, for example, if I said, why aren't children learning poems these days? I think so. Now they don't learn poems because they don't spend as much time with them. So it's, yeah, just a slight grammatical slip in the use of that expression. But yeah, generally it was accurate.
So this is my first time, so I was a little nervous,
yeah, of course, of course.
So, and especially I wanted to have a, speaking session with you. That was my biggest dream, and today it is fulfilled. So I think so henceforth, this will be a bit, I will speak much better. Yeah.
Yeah, good. But you actually just said it just there, Jesse. You said, I think so, henceforth I will speak much better. So get rid of the so, no so.
No, so, okay.
Yeah, just I think, yeah, I think,
I
yeah.
think I will speak much better. Yeah.
Perfect. There you go. Now you got it.
Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you very much, Jesse. Yeah, like I said, there's lots of good stuff in there as well. Just one other tip, Jesse. Definitely, you're showing that to show a strong opinion, which is great. But just a little bit of variety. I just noticed that you repeated it a little bit. So yeah, you can say definitely, that's fine. But you can say of course or certainly. Those are some
Yes,
other
yes.
expressions as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you get more credit the more variety you use. So thank you very much there, then, Jesse. Are you, Jesse? You're not Jesneen, are you?
No, Jesse, Jessy.
Jesse, yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, then. So I'm just going to bring Jesneen in now because we've not done any practice before, I don't believe. Hi, Jesneen. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Alex. Thank you for picking me because this is my
You're-
first time also joining the class.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, it's great to see a lot of people joining here for the first time because we want to give as many people an opportunity to participate. So yeah, great to have you here, Jesneen. And where are you at the moment?
I'm in the Philippines now. Good evening. It's almost
Okay.
midnight here.
Yes, yeah, I know the time difference between the UK and the Philippines is quite drastic, isn't it?
Yes.
But it's great. Yeah, thank you for staying up and sticking with us, Jesneen. So yeah, great to bring you in. Do you have a lot of experience with the IELTS exam?
No, it is my first time to take the IELTS exam.
Ah, right. Okay, then. So we're going to practice with part 3. We're going to do one more topic on part 3 today. You've been watching the class so far, I believe?
Yes, of course.
Brilliant. So yeah, so just the same then as with the other topics, we'll be looking at question and answer setup So yeah, I'll be asking you questions related to a particular topic, and you just need to give responses to those. So let's have a look now then at the new topic. I'm just going to bring this up. Okay, so the topic we're looking at now, as you can see, is important objects. So my first question for you then, Jasnine, is what sorts of objects do families normally keep?
I believe families normally keep a photograph because it keeps our memory. And whenever we reminisce good memories, we keep on browsing our albums. And I think to preserve a good memory, you should take a good photograph of it.
Are there any differences in the most important things that people had in the past compared to the important things that people have now?
I think there's no different in most important things for previous people in the past. I mean, people today and in the past. It's just a matter of how you live at the moment, and I think that um uh
Okay.
mm-mm.
What kinds of objects are usually kept in museums?
um I've never been in a museum before, but I've watched films that talks about museum, especially when I watch National Geographic channels. They keep an artifacts and preserve it to display and explain it to the the younger generation about the use of it from ancient times and how they developed throughout times too.
Do you think that all museums should be free to visit?
Yes, certainly. I agree in that because in we need to also look from our history because without it we are not here. So I guess we need to encourage our government to open the museum for free and also offer courses that studies more about the artifacts, and especially here in the Philippines because we don't have much museum here, and I think I as I observe younger generations, they don't know more about the previous life of our ancestors and how did we get here and what happened before, and I think we need to certainly look into that.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Jasnine. So I noticed there were some questions which you gave really developed responses to, which was great, and then there were others where you didn't have as
Yes.
much to say. So I think it depends. If you like the question, then you had the response. If you didn't like the question so much, then you didn't say as much. Um, just on that, I mean, I think if you are finding yourself, I think there was the question I asked you about whether there's any differences between the things that people regarded as important in the past compared to what people regard as important now, and you said no, I don't think there's any difference. So obviously that's a really short response.
Yes.
Generally, you want to develop your response a bit more. So one way you could do that is just to give an example. So before you talked about
Okay.
photographs, so you could just say, you know, for example, people regarded photographs as really important in the past, and that's still the case. If you go to people's
Mhm.
houses, they still keep photographs, maybe on the wall or
Okay.
on the mantelpiece. And so yeah, so that's just a way. If you notice that your response is a bit short, always give an example if you can, just
Okay.
to explain, and it gives you a bit more content. Um,
I have a
but
lot of ideas, but I don't know how to put it into words. That's why I keep on pausing and stuttering.
Okay, yeah, there was some pause, but I mean, it wasn't. You still had a good level of fluency. I thought it wasn't as if you were pausing for a long time. There were just certain, yeah, moments of hesitation where you were
Mhm.
thinking about what you wanted to say, which is normal, isn't it? Because you know these questions are more abstract, so
Yes, yes.
they do require a bit more thought in order to answer them.
Mhm.
But yeah, you came up with some really good language as well. So reminisce, which was really nice. Preserve memories, artifacts as well. which was great. And when you were giving more extended answers, you were using language to link your ideas together as well. So in the final question, I asked you about free museums, which you had a lot of content on. Yeah, you're talking, especially you were using to kind of build and add ideas to what you were saying. So there was some really good structure in your responses as well. So yeah, thank you very much there, Chesney, and a very warm welcome to your first participation in the
Thank
class.
you.
Thank you. Okay, so for the final part of the class today, then I'm going to switch to part 2, just to add a little bit of variety. So let me bring in a student to do some part 2 practice. I'm going to bring Summer into the class. Are you there, Summer?
Hi, Alex.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Hey, how come I'm okay.
Good, 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 good. Easter, we haven't talked about Easter, have we? We've got Easter coming. Have you got any Easter plans?
Actually, don't have because of the pandemic.
Yeah. Maybe you can just eat a load of chocolate. I think that's what I'm going to be doing to celebrate Easter, just eating lots of chocolate.
Oh,
Okay,
maybe
then,
good
Summer.
for me
Yeah,
because I'm studying.
just there you go. You can study and you can give yourself a chocolate treat whilst you're studying.
Yeah.
Okay then, so we're going to look at part 2 now then, Summer. Let me just bring up a part 2 question for some practice. Just before I do, a quick review. You should expect part 2 of the IELTS to last between 3 to 4 minutes in total. You'll be presented with a question. You'll have 1 minute to prepare your response to that question, and then you should speak for up to 2 minutes. You should always aim to be able to speak for the full 2 minutes. The examiner may interrupt you. If he or she does, that's not a problem, but always aim to speak for 2 minutes for this part of the test. So here is a question for you, Summer. It's on the topic of shopping. So can you see the roll card on the screen? Summer? You've gone on to
Hello.
silent. Hi, sorry, you went on to silent there.
Okay.
Can you see
Okay.
the roll card on the screen there, Summer?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay, so you've got a minute to prepare your response. Okay, so Summer, are you ready to begin?
Okay, I'll try.
Great. So describe a time you were pleased with your purchase.
Okay. Recently, I was excited to purchase a mobile phone because it has been a long time I haven't changed my phone, and this phone is just a new release. It's a new release by Samsung, so I bought there, and they will give me through. I mean, they will deliver the phone itself. So actually, I bought this mobile phone because the specs is really good, especially to the camera, which is what I after of. I mean, the specs is really good when you have the good capture, and it's quite handy. That's why I love to have this kind of um, things, especially it's like all in one. I can use it for communication. At the same time, I can capture a good scenery as well. So that's why I really purchased this one. And when I received the product, I was over the moon, since I really have the time to explore about more the gadget. And when I received the mobile phone, I already tried it to call my family back home, and the camera itself. I really can say that it was really awesome. That it's really clear, and it's really wide range of uh, capturing the area. So I was proud to say that I was able to purchase this kind of uh, gadget,
Thank you
even
very
though
much,
it's
Summer.
really okay.
So there you go. You kept going for the 2 minutes, so I had to stop you there. But well done. Yeah, you had a lot to say about this phone, which you were clearly very happy with. Um, good, yeah. So yeah, some really good vocabulary that you used there. You're referring to the camera. You said it had good capture. You said also talk about the phone. It was handy. It was quite handy. You said. You talked about you said the specs. You said the specs are really good. Usually, actually, with spec, we use it in the singular. Usually,
Oh, I see.
yeah, so yeah, the spec was really good, or the spec is really good
Yes.
usually.
Okay.
But it was still good that you were using that vocabulary. You describe yourself as over the moon, so you're using some idiomatic language there to express how happy you were with it, which was good. It was good to hear you do that. There
But
was
my
Go on.
yeah.
I was going to say there was
No,
some hesitation.
yeah, because it's like the way I construct my sentence is like not that good.
There was just pausing. I thought no, I thought your sort of what you were saying was very clear, and you do use natural language, but there's just quite a lot of pausing, and also there was
Oh, I see.
some repetition as
Oh,
well of information. I think that maybe it's just you're sort of trying to think about what the next thing was that you wanted to communicate. It gave you a bit of time as well, so I think sometimes you're repeating it like, okay, what do I want to say next? So
mm.
do you make notes before you speak, Summer, for part two?
Yeah, I actually make a notes, but yeah.
Good. Yeah, good. It's just because just sometimes maybe if you were able to make a few more notes, um, uh, or if your notes, you're able to kind of switch between your notes just a little bit quicker, it can help
Mm,
to improve your speed and to avoid the repetition as well. Because I think that's the main point I would just make in terms of improvement. Is
okay.
just reducing pauses and reducing repetition. But aside from that, yeah, some really good vocabulary, and you were using it was accurate as well. Just one other thing I noticed that you're using really a lot. So really
Oh,
as an
yeah. Yes.
intensifier. um,
Yes. I also noticed that one.
Obviously, we can use it,
Every time I practice,
but
yes, I
yeah,
want to. Yeah.
just maybe as some variety we could use, like very or so or extremely, or
Yeah.
yeah. So there are quite a few intensifiers out there. So yeah, maybe just a bit more variety there would be good as well to show more variety in terms of vocabulary. But yeah, aside from that, Summer, it was really good. So well done.
Thank you, sir.
No worries. Okay, so we've got time for one more person to do some practice. Um, so we'll try and bring someone in who hasn't practiced, who didn't practice last week. I think. Sorry there. Okay, I'm just going to bring Anna in. I don't think we did any practice last week, did we, Anna? Let's bring you in here. Hi there, Anna.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing good. It's actually my day off, so I just practiced with my speaking buddies a while ago.
Okay. Have you been enjoying your day off?
Yes.
Good, good, good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay then, Anna. So we've just moved on to part two, where we're doing a bit of practice here. So are you ready to do some part two practice with us now, Anna?
Of course, I will try because last time I was like watching your live session, but you didn't call me. So now I'm expecting that you will call me. So luckily, you called me.
There you go. Your expectations were realized. Good, good. Yeah, we do.
Correct.
I do try and sort of give as many people an opportunity as possible. But yeah, you had a week off last week, so yeah, you're back in the
Yes.
action.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, then, Anna. So here is the topic that I would like you to speak about. It is poetry and or music. So can you see the topic on the screen?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so you've got 1 minute then to prepare your response.
Okay.
Okay, so Anna, are you ready to begin?
Okay, I will try.
Brilliant. Okay, Anna, so please describe a line that you remember from a poem or song.
Okay. Um, I'd like to tell you about a song that I know when I was still young, like in my teenage years. It was a song by Mariah Carey, if I'm not mistaken. The lyrics in that song was "There can be miracle when you believe." So regarding this song, I really loved it. I really love it until now because it gives me inspiration. Like there are a lot of hurdles and struggles that we are facing right now, and by this song we can able to connect with it, like to surpass all the struggles that we are facing right now, because nothing is impossible if you truly believe in yourself, and then you are doing your work like at all costs, you will be able to be successful in the future. So this song is, I know this song from my friend because she was actually singing this song when I was still in my high school years. We were singing it together because obviously we are an avid fan of Mariah Carey. So we try to sing this song as much as possible. So yes, this gives me an inspiration not only for me but like to all the people or my like colleagues and friends whenever they feeling lonely or down. I could just tell that like to us I mean to say that they can hear this song in order for them to realize that if they are like lonely or sad, they can surpass it, like being positive and optimistic regarding
Okay,
the
thank you.
future.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much. You had a lot to
Thank
say
you.
about that song.
No,
um,
I don't have a lot of things. I,
it sounded like you did. That song obviously was very inspirational for you,
yes, it is.
which which is nice. No, it's nice. I'll have to listen to it when we finish the class. So good, yeah. So yeah, you had a lot of content. There, Anna, and you expressed yourself. Your pronunciation was very clear. You expressed yourself in a very clear way, in a very intelligible way. There were some slight pauses, I think, as you were thinking of what you wanted to say at times, but they weren't extended pauses. So you had a good level of fluency throughout. There was some good use of language as well. So I liked avid fan. That's a nice collocation that you were using. You used surpass. So you said they can surpass it, which, yeah, I mean, the meaning is clear, but overcome would be a little bit more natural within that context. They can overcome problems rather than surpass their problems. You might surpass someone's expectations, but you would overcome a problem. So yeah, just bear that one in mind there. The other thing I'm just saying is just with some plural forms, some slight slips on plural. So like I said, I really like the fact you use the expression avid fan, but you said that me and my friend, you said was an avid fan, but as you're talking about both of you,
We're
yeah, exactly, we're avid fans. Yeah, we're avid fans would be the expectation there. And just later on as well, you also said that the song, you said it gives me an inspiration, but inspiration is actually uncountable. So you'll just say it gives me inspiration or it inspires me. But yeah, you wouldn't use an because it's uncountable. So just
okay.
a couple of grammar slips. And just a final one as well. At the beginning, you said it was a song that I know when I was young. But you're referring to the past there, so knew
I
would be more
knew.
appropriate. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah. But yeah, apart from that, some really good stuff there, Anna. So welcome back to the class, and I hope to see you next week.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Okay, so thank you to everyone who has participated in the class today, and for those who are watching live as well on Facebook and YouTube. For those who would like to get involved and would like to do practice in future classes, do ensure that you are part of our scholarship program. That's where you'll have the opportunity to do that. And this is a great opportunity for all those who wish to work as a nurse in the USA. You will have the opportunity to work with the biggest recruiter for nurses to the United States, which is Connetics. And by having the opportunity to work with us here at Swoosh English and Connetics, you'll be able to take a step further in your goal to achieve that American dream. So join us here with the scholarships program. And you could have that opportunity, and you could do all of this for free. So we're going to share the link in the description just here in the chat box for YouTube and Facebook. Just click on the link and click on Staff Nurse if you would like to explore this opportunity further. So thank you once again to all those who have participated today. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Until then, take care.